All right. Welcome to another edition of Vegas Badboyz of Podcasting. And I'm DJ Impact, and I got the Vegas Badboyz here with me. It's good to see you fellas here.
Hey, DJ, just to let you guys know, I might have to pop out at any point here. I ordered nachos and some chicken fingers at 4:30 yesterday, and I think I'm almost there. Yeah.
At least you're getting them.
Let me ask you,
so payment didn't get cut off.
So, Matt Michaels, you're still at Allegiant Stadium.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about these backdrops. We could do the podcast from anywhere, so
that is true. Okay, well, yeah, good luck with that. Man, oh my God, guys, so much to talk about. First off, a quick programming note that we normally do our wrestling talk and we do 3 count. No 3 count tonight. Wrestling talk, so much wrestling has happened this past weekend. It is no way we can get it all done and we can get it all done tonight, but as long as we're going to go, it makes sense to have to split them up into 2 shows. So if you're watching us live, and hopefully you are, you will get a chance to hear the whole thing. Although if you are listening to us through podcasts on Monday, you will get us talking about most of WWE shows during this weekend and our local shows that took place here. And then on Tuesday's podcast, you'll get a chance to hear all the rest of the programming with AEW, Impact, Ring of Honor, and a few others. All right. So just no 3 count for this week. All right. With that, man, so much going on, guys. Let's just get right into it. SummerSlam weekend. I guess you could say we pulled it off, huh? Here in Vegas.
Didn't go without a hitch, but yeah.
Yeah.
It was all
right. That's a fact.
Yeah. Well, let's just kick off the show and pretty much how it started off, and we'll go from there. Show kicked off with Big E and Baron Corbin, which was a cool match. It's pretty much what we've been seeing leading up to Corbin running off with that Money in the Bank briefcase, and so now it is in the right hands of that person, and we'll see where it goes. Where does Corbin goes from there? So I don't know.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, we were pretty much all there live. The one good thing that I got from that match was it gave me an opportunity to kind of see the crowd's reaction live on how they feel about Big E, which is cool because I always wonder with WWE going back live, what is the crowd's response? Other than what we kind of see and, what we think the crowd sounds like. And a lot of people for a pre-show match, might I say, Big E still continued to win over the crowd. Like, people loved him. Now, mind you, it was the first match. People were kind of just waiting to get this thing started, but it lets me know that, pretty much once Big E is ready to go, and I've heard WWE has big plans for a Big E push, which if yeah, I heard. I'm pretty sure but I heard, because I don't want to sit here and think I know everything, but it's one of those things where I think that he'll be good. He'll be good when he cashes that in. Who he'll cash it on, I don't know. He may choose to cash it on Raw instead of SmackDown. Who knows? But Michaels probably knows.
Check this out. First off, speaking of Money in the Bank, let's just go ahead and make that curve right while we're here. Money in the Bank in Vegas next year at Allegiant Stadium. Now, let me ask you guys, because I've followed WWE practically all my life. I never remember any pay-per-view that's not one of the top four. Top four, of course, meaning SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, and Royal Rumble, that have ever been in a football stadium before. Would this be a first for this type of event? Yeah, okay.
For Big Four, yeah. realistically, I mean, it's not really a surprise. There was talk that WWE was going to be expanding and adding a fifth, top tier pay-per-view. And obviously this is the cementing of that. They're making Money in the Bank one of their, core 5 pay-per-views.
Gotcha. Or they could have just removed Survivor Series and they could have kept the top 4. They forced it, I don't know. I'm sure there's people that like Survivor Series, but I mean, it's changed. It's not even the same the way how it was when it first started.
when they got rid of the team versus team thing. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask y'all this question real quick, because you said Survivor Series. I don't want to jump all over the place, but with what we saw last night, it was talked about many a times. Team Cena, Team Roman Reigns. Do you think that they'll do something like that for like Survivor Series? Possibly. I mean, I know right now it doesn't make sense because they're both on SmackDown. I'm just curious.
What are you talking about? Team Cena and Team Reigns. Who are these people that have been talking?
Oh, I'm sorry. No. You didn't watch SummerSlam last night? They were talking about it, and they talked about it previous times on SmackDown. They've been mentioning it more often than not.
It is something that was mentioned by John Cena in the promos, asking the crowd if they were Team Reigns or Team Cena.
That has nothing to do with Survivor Series. That's who
I asked the question.
Steve, you're not at fault here. Simon Street is the one just assuming information and deciding to process it.
Okay. First and foremost, go fucking eat your nachos and calm the fuck down.
I haven't got them yet. That's why I'm pissed.
You're still fucking angry from fucking yesterday, man, apparently. No. I'm asking the question on, would that be cool if they figured out some sort of way? I don't want to go into how they would do it, but I felt a lot of people, when it was said by Cena, people were all on board, like, oh, I'm Team Cena, I'm Team Roman Reigns, outside of the match and helping to build the match for SummerSlam. Would that be something cool? Because Survivor Series at time is dry. Is it not, gentlemen? Is it not dry when they try to come up with conceptually 2 different teams in a Survivor Series?
Yeah, but you're forgetting one key factor here, and that is Cena shoots movies and television and commercials.
True that.
So I don't think you're going to see anything involving a Team Cena versus a Team Reigns, to be honest.
But let me
especially with the way things ended up.
True. I was just curious because it was something that people got excited about, and for me, first thought I said, damn, it would be cool if people were this excited for Survivor Series, which most of the times, let's be honest, we're not that excited. We're excited for the Royal Rumble. We're excited for SummerSlam. We're excited for WrestleMania. But when it comes to Survivor Series, it's dry. It's kind of like, okay. I mean, maybe it's just me.
Well, you know what? I tell you what. I'll sum it up for you, Simon Street. It's missionary position. All right,
it's very missionary position. It's not even missionary position. It's like no oral play.
So check this out. Just for those that maybe don't get the reference of the entire nachos that and wings and all that we've been waiting for. Allegiant Stadium, man. I tell you, this is a state-of-the-art, the most modern. How many billions of dollars put together, and this cashless stadium, apparently systems went down maybe after the 3rd match, okay? Which means anything that you wanted to purchase, food-wise, drinks, probably even shirts or whatever the case, if you were on their system, it went down. And apparently it just didn't happen here. It was connected systems through other parks throughout the country. I think they said San Diego Padres.
Yeah. And other restaurants and other facilities that use this particular server for this option. The biggest thing is that, unfortunately, Allegiant Stadium, the management never thought about, well, what happens if our registers go down?
Right.
And quite honestly, I've been on the other end of dealing with registers going down across the country in terms of being in grocery stores and stuff like that and having to deal with it. That shit's a pain in the ass. And it really shut shit down for hours. So to have it happen at stadiums, boy, if you don't have a fucking way to go to getting cash in, and some of the vendors are so pissed that they are, if you don't put in a system that can accept cash after that goes down, that we're not going to continue to be vendors at the
guys. Think of it like a casino. Perfect example. They just opened up Resort World, beautiful Resort World on the Las Vegas Strip. Believe it or not, it's half cashless. If you want to go and hit one of the machines, you just jump on your phone and boom, you can send some cash and play. But guess what? They also accept cash. Okay. I mean, they're not going to sit back and entirely put everything onto a system like that. Think like a casino, guys. Come on. I'm surprised when Simon Street told me that, because he was the one that was affected by it before I started to hear it. I was like, you're telling me there's no cash at all? I don't even understand what you mean, what you're saying, that they're not taking that. So I don't know, man. My thing is, my guess is the management woke up this morning. They had an emergency meeting at Allegiant Stadium, and they was going, what the fuck happened? Because this could be a problem going forward. You know, like you were talking, vendors is not going to approve it. I said, look, I mean, bottom line is, even your experience as a fan, if a Raider fan or going to a music concert, if you're going there and you're finding out that their machines aren't working. And we also read a report, apparently, that the toilets backed up, which doesn't even make sense. This is a new stadium. I guess
the toilets didn't, quote unquote, back up. They were overflowing.
Oh, overflowing. Okay.
So what you had mentioned about the fact that on the tour of the facility, they were bragging about, and also remember, every great disaster film starts with someone in the company bragging about how impeccably.
Yeah,
that's true.
This will never breach. It will never happen. And here they're telling you the toilets all flush at the same time on an automated system. And apparently what started happening is that apparently must have gotten stuck to the point where it just kept flowing out and flowing out and flowing out and flowing out.
Yeah.
That's
Wi-Fi
was down too, if you didn't know that.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, no, the Wi-Fi was down. It's really truly sad though, because as Impact said, I was out there waiting in line, thinking that ordinarily when these do shut down regularly, they'll kick back up. Everybody left. So I said, I'm gonna stay my ass in line. After like 30 minutes, and I think the Sheamus match in Damian Priest match got done, I was like, oh fuck. I had a good little quick conversation to the guy who's in charge of Fuku Burger, which is one of the vendors there. And incidentally, I found out that he actually is part owner of Fuku Burger. And he said that this is very displeasing to him. He said that, if they don't serve any food, they don't get paid. So he was very not happy at all. And he had to give away free burgers. So stuff that was on the line, they had to give that away for free.
So did you get anything for free?
Yes, I did. I came back and paid him back with a Fuku Burger. It was very delicious. Shout out to Fuku Burger. Delicious burgers outside the box of what normal burgers should taste like.
Well, guys, look, we just thought we'd bring that up. It's just amazing because overall, it's a beautiful stadium. You can't not deny that. But the issues that went on, it just shouldn't be happening at this point. So hopefully they'll have all that worked out. You know? Hey, and let me tell you this. Hey, Raider fans ain't gonna have that. Okay, you start telling them they can't get beer and they can't get food, and it's gonna be a riot. Okay, I'm just saying.
Or maybe it's the best thing for the atmosphere at a Raiders game that there is no ability to get beer served.
You got
man. All right, man. Well, let's keep it going. There was the Raw Tag Team Championship. AJ Styles almost versus RK Bro. Any shock there with the how that turned out? No, not really.
None.
Yeah. It was a cool match. I mean, you know what? I never would have thought that they would make a good team. We've been seeing them play this out now for a few months, but yeah, I can see it. It works. The whole gimmick with Riddle, I won't lie, have annoyed me over time. Even when I was watching him the other day, he's all like, Randy. I'm like, And then I gotta tell myself, okay, it's not for me, it's not for me, it's not for me, and then I just continue to.
Bro, are you putting down all of us who smoke weed? Because fuck you.
Is
that what you're telling me he's going through?
Well, he makes a lot of references, not directly that he's smoking weed, but he kind of clues in towards that direction. If you haven't noticed,
well, I
live the gimmick. Live the gimmick.
I got you. Well, yeah, and I wasn't even thinking that way. I was just like,
because you don't smoke weed. That's why.
You're right. You're right. All right. So anyway, we got new Raw tag team champs there. So
and Alexa, and more importantly, tomorrow on or night on Raw, we get a celebration, a surprise that Matt Riddle has for Randy Orton. This better be fucking hysterical because it's gonna be something ridiculous.
Yeah. But you got to give props when you saw when Riddle got RKO a few weeks ago. You probably thought, oh well, that's the end of that. We knew Randy was going to do that, and now we're going to kill it. Did you really think that? Oh for real? Okay,
yeah,
I was,
because look at all the merch that they put out. The merch had not even been out for 3 weeks.
Yeah,
and it was.
Yeah,
it was selling at the but it was selling at the Superstore Impact. I don't think he was paying attention when we went there. That was one of the shirts that they had to restock while we were there. Was the RK Bro shirt. It had like a little snake on the little scooter thing. Yeah,
well, that pay attention. Yeah, makes sense then.
He was tripping over rugs and shit.
True story. Alexa Bliss
out of a Christmas cup.
Hey. Shut up, ho.
Oh my God. Hey, by the way, if you're in the chat room, definitely shout out if you got any comments you want to make. We see you, Chris. Thanks for always hanging in there with us. And any comments you have, put them in. Let's have a conversation. Big weekend, SummerSlam weekend. And we're talking about SummerSlam right now. We're on to Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie. I don't know. Was this so far the worst, or would you even say just forget so far? It was just the worst.
I'll say this. No, okay. I will say this real quick. Eva Marie will be inducted into the fucking WWE Hall of Fame as the worst fucking performer for every fucking match she's ever done in her fucking life. Yeah. That shit was fucking atrocious. Everybody was screaming in there, "Give us Piper. Give us Piper." Was I not? No. Did you not hear that too?
No. I heard we want Wyatt, bro.
Yeah, they
said they said Wyatt at first, but later on, while the match was going on, they were saying Piper because the match was hard.
Piper's been dead, so
of course they're talking about Piper Niven, even though she goes by Dewdrop.
Dewdrop. You fans, you say the right name.
Well, apparently not all of them were WWE marks because they were using her real name, Piper Niven. But my point is fucking atrocious match. Fucking and the shit was down during that time, right? Impact. So I couldn't go get no fucking beer or nothing like that. Choke the shit down with.
I think it's got to be pointed out that Eva Marie makes Carmella look like Ric Flair.
Yes.
Wow.
That's how bad.
Yeah.
Dude, just a bad match. Yeah. Oh my God, dude.
Alexa, if you go back and watch, because it doesn't take too long to watch,
right?
Alexa does everything in her power to make everything look good.
Yeah.
And Eva Marie, she it's just why?
Eva Marie should have came to WWE in the beginning of the Attitude Era. If she can just find a DeLorean with a flux capacitor, go back into the future when we only wanted to see puppies and girls going on Playboy magazine, she'd have been perfect. She'd have been up there with Sable and the rest of them.
But even those women were good.
Yeah, you got a point. I was trying to be nice. Yeah, I was trying to be nice.
Well, it's kind of weird. I thought the whole repackaging, and since she had been gone and bringing her back, I thought we were really going to be amazed at something like, wow, she really has, sometimes you get that from talent that leaves and come back. but I don't know. It's not.
Where's Nick Khan when you need him to make a cut?
No shit.
Hold on. Maybe that's how she got back on. Maybe she cool with Nick Khan.
Maybe.
Oh, boy.
Because if he didn't see that oversight and he's trying to structure the business to be sellable,
wait. Well, you guys don't know what the contract is. Maybe she's a good deal. Why let that go? We're paying her nothing. Who knows?
All I know is if I have somebody on my team, don't tell me what you can't do. Show me what you will do. And she didn't show us shit.
So I don't know. Well, that is true on there. Outside of that, we have the United States Championship, Sheamus versus Damian Priest. Man, I like when he comes out and does the gimmick with the bow arrow and that huge screen. I don't think you can see it, Steve, because you were. Well, I guess if you turn around and looked up.
I was behind. Yeah, there was no way for me to be able to see it.
Got you.
I did go back and rewatch it, and it was awesome. Yeah, it
was awesome, right? Yeah. You know what? Shout out to him, man. I've watched him when back when he would come out here. What was it? He was Ring of Honor, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Ring of Honor.
Okay.
Yeah. Punishment Martinez.
Yeah. Punishment Martinez. Yeah. I remember his name, but I just don't remember between him that or Impact. But I just I've always just enjoyed him, man, and I'm glad to see that he is getting to this level. So it's always been good. So we'll see where it goes from there.
But the match itself was actually a good match.
Yes.
That was the surprising thing.
Yeah.
True.
It took a little bit to get started, but once it did, it definitely was going for sure. These guys, they brought it for sure.
Yeah.
And what's more, I mean, now you got Damian Priest as a first-time national champion, according to the interviewer later. Yeah.
Oh, Tiffany Haddish. Yeah.
Is that what she said?
Yeah, she called him a first-time national champion.
Don't rag on the backstage interview, as Mario Lopez referred to WWE as WWF. So,
well, you're gonna have to throw some money to some fucking pandas.
Look, man, they grabbed them because they were supposed to be at the fight. I'm sure the real fight. With Pacquiao, they said, "Well, come over here. We'll pay you right quick if you could just, be our backstage announcer." They're like, "Oh, okay, I'll do it." So, I mean, why the hell was Tiffany Haddish would be out there anyway, or Mario? I mean, why would you be? Like, why would you be? Why would they be in Vegas and at the show if it wasn't for? I'm sure the huge all-star list. Yeah, that's going on over at T-Mobile Arena.
Well, I can't really say for Mario Lopez, but Tiffany Haddish got a huge pop just for being fucking on.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, even though she fucked up, but I mean, it was innocent. I mean, everybody popped and people were shocked. Like, wow, Tiffany Haddish, how the fuck? So and she probably didn't get asked to be at the fight, and that's probably why they grabbed those two. They're like, "We'll pay you something," and it was like, "Why the fuck not?"
Well, Mario's actually is a fan, so.
Okay.
He makes sense, but Haddish probably has some kind of something going on that ties in with Peacock. That's because remember Mario Lopez is on Saved by the Bell, so that was my first thought. Is these people are brought there by Peacock.
There you go.
By the way,
that's a good call.
By the way, speaking of good calls, fucking Pat McAfee during the Edge match, he's about to go, "Holy shit!" And he goes, "Holy shit, I can't say the word here on the cock." It was fucking amazing to hear that. That was great.
He was lit that night. Did you see him when Shinsuke Nakamura came out for his performance, not match, which we didn't know at first until we were like, "Oh yeah."
We were like, "What the fuck?"
It was lit though, right?
Pat McAfee Gold. We're all wearing white.
He got on the announce table when it was jamming out, man. I love his energy. I really do. I love his energy.
I think Cole at this point just be like, "Oh, whatever." I think it was
that's exactly what Cole did.
Yeah.
They had a wide shot, and Michael Cole's looking up going,
yeah. Because this is nothing Cole is used to, okay? This is going, this is
exactly.
totally, it's out there, but whatever. Next, you have the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, the Usos versus the Mysterios. So,
why didn't Bobby Lashley choke out Dominic instead of Goldberg's kid, man?
I tell you now, Dominic needs to go. Dominic needs to go work out with Goldberg's son, because that little boy transformed from a middle schooler to a junior in high school weightlifting competition. What the fuck is he eating at Goldberg camp? The Mysterios need to go over there and get their boy some muscles.
Facts.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. At what point does
if Eva Marie wasn't so bad, that this would have been the worst match of the night.
Are you talking about the Usos and the Mysterios?
Yeah, and it's not the Usos' fault.
No. Mm-mm.
And shout out to Sean in the chat. He says, "Are you guys streaming from the stadium, or did you finally make it home?"
We're actually sitting on the strip now in traffic.
We are still there.
We're all in the same car too. That's the weird thing.
I
know.
See?
So can I ask y'all a question? Real talk. When did each one of y'all get home? Like, or how long did it take you to get home? Like, or at least to get on the road to get home, the highway.
I don't have to answer that one.
I know you don't.
I'm good.
Steve, did it take you a long time?
So we ducked into a restaurant and kind of let everything kind of subside afterwards. Shout out to Hosong's Cantina, by the way. Good stuff. After we did that, everything had cleared out, but yeah, it was an absolute clusterfuck getting in. So I could only imagine how it was getting out of there.
I got home from the time that everybody was leaving the arena. I got home in 40 minutes. That's because I parked at the Mandalay Bay, walked over the land bridge, surprisingly going towards, and a lot of people don't know, we're going towards Town Square area. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. If you took anything that was the 15, you were just fucked.
Oh yeah, done.
Quintessentially. So, but okay, yeah, it was a clusterfuck though. What about you, Impact? You parked at the stadium, right?
Yeah.
How'd that work?
Yeah, it was all right. I mean,
don't forget, he makes the big bucks. He can afford parking at the stadium.
Stop it.
He didn't just park at the stadium. He had valet at the stadium.
Look, this man was parked like the stadium's here, Impact's parked here.
Right.
I'm looking like, how did you do that shit?
It's because he has a handicap pass that he pulls out for certain situations.
Don't say that, because I don't.
You know what, Impact?
I don't want the handicap to be mad at me thinking I really do stuff like that. Man, let me continue with the show. All right, we're going to be here till midnight. Plus, I got to let some things off because we got to get into the next one, and I'm about to let it have it. All right, so let's just get right into it. The Smackdowns Women's Championship. Now, that was supposed to be Bianca Belair versus Sasha. Apparently, Sasha was unable to make the match. So, to fill her place was Carmella. Now, let me say this. For both Simon Street and Steve, have you ever heard a packed stadium so silent ever in your life? I mean, I'm talking.
Well, if they would have announced Eva Marie, people would have just started leaving.
Right.
There's that.
I'm sorry. Listen, I'm sorry, man. But for Carmella, I mean, it was just silent. It was just like people was like, is this real? Like they didn't know if this. It was a moment of like, are we really about to go through this? You know, it was like I felt bad for Carmella because I'm like, she's got to be like, damn, they don't me.
Wait, time out. You felt bad for Carmella?
No,
I felt worse for Corey Graves because he had to go home to that And hear about that shit, I'm sure it was just bah, 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 bah.
Yeah. So anyway, right as they were about to get into it, the music hits and the return of Becky Lynch. Now, I will say this because I could be wrong, but I know that Matt Michaels will be the one that goes, my God, that was the perfect way to do it. And Simon Street, when I was with him, he was shockingly almost agreed with it himself, going, well, this is going to make Bianca even better, and she's going to come back and blah, blah. That's what he was telling me. And I don't know where you stand, Steve. All I'm going to say is this. Bullshit. Bullshit. And all I'm going to say is this. I'm not against, let me be clear. I'm not against her losing the title. She could have lost it. I was fine with it. When I saw Becky come out, oh, she's losing it. I don't mind. Okay. It all comes down to how it's done. How do you, before you say, Matt, hold on, because I'm going to let you go and run the bullshit. Let me just say this. You don't build somebody as your roughest, your toughest, your baddest, who's had this entire season, even during the time of when she lost, she still put up that fight. Who always put up a fight no matter what, okay? And you have someone come out, do a rock bottom, pretty much, and then that was it, with no intention. I would have even took 5 minutes. I would have took 5 minutes of Bianca just couldn't, maybe she swung and just missed. She doesn't know Becky's style. Maybe a kick and she missed. You know, we're going back and forth, but she's not landing. But something, you just don't take that and then go, just wash everything away. To me, that's how that looked. I know Bianca's going to be back. I know she's going to be champion. I know she's the future. I'm not stupid. I'm all knowing this. I'm just saying the way that shit went down. And the same shit went down again with Kofi as well. And by the way,
wait, time out. Hey. Stop right there. One thing you guys are forgetting, and all the fans are forgetting, Sasha and Bianca tested positive for COVID. The reason that she dropped the title is because she couldn't go. So she was cleared enough to be in the building, but she wouldn't have gotten a 5-minute match, man. They just had to get the belt off of her. And I think that this was the secondary plan. Becky was not supposed to return. And what they did was basically say, insert here because the fans will pop. But what they didn't expect is because they're not disclosing shit, that the fans would get pissed off that it was this and then start comparing it to Kofi because of the obvious similarities.
This shit is fair. It's fair game. It's fair game. Okay, because that shit then should have been explained. You know what? Listen, I'm sorry. In my eyes, how I view things, I view that as bullshit. The way that I see how Kofi was done and how they did this. Look, you're right. I guess Bianca did. But if you're going to keep all that shit secret, then everything else gets out. And they already know that information, then to go ahead and then make that known. But how again you build somebody like so?
It's COVID, dude.
I get it.
You can't be a company in that company position. You can't straight out come out and say either for or against. And the fact of the matter is that even them putting in a mask mandate for the performers now is very close to being,
then fuck it. She shouldn't there shouldn't have been a match. Cancel the whole fucking match.
100%.
Then they should, come on.
They should have taken it off. They should
just took it off. And I was fine with that.
I still stand by what I told you. Well, the only reason why I say that is because one of the storyline beats that was happening with Sasha, and even though it may have not been intentional, with what happened, as what y'all ascertained, is Sasha always pointed out rookie's hubris of Bianca Belair. She always kept pointing out, you're making rookie mistakes. You're not understanding your place. Now, maybe I'm going a little too far on this one, but maybe, just maybe, from her reaction that she gave, which I think really will lend well going forward is she's going to be a lot smarter. Even though she's the smartest, you can still be smarter and not make those mistakes. And so you can see her making a return, as I stated before. Yes, it sucked because, yes, I'm with you, Impact. Immediately, emotionally at first, I felt the same way I felt about Kofi. Like, well, goddamn, gone in a blink of an eye. But with regards to Becky, huge fucking ovation. Part of the reason why I lost my voice, because I was happy to see her. Yes, it sucked the way she had to come in and what she did. Who knew Becky did rock bottoms? But you know, I was happy to see her back. We knew she was going to be back. So I think it was a good deal all around. So if it was because of COVID and they needed to insert somebody in, it was the blessing came out of the sky that happened to be Becky on hand. Because it could have been a lot worse. It could have been somebody else that wasn't Becky. And that would have pissed you off even more, Impact.
Yeah, the match could have been Carmella versus Selena Vega. So
yeah, I'm just being honest. You would have been really pissed.
But the truth of the matter is what you said, Simon, is very true. And that is, if you look at it through the sense of they can work that into a storyline, right? Because she was young, she's been taken advantage of as the champion. But also, in that regard too, you have to think that because there will be backlash, Becky is set up essentially to be a heel. So, you know, that's, and if you got Seth and Becky on the same show and they're both heels, there you go.
Which, incidentally enough, it's interesting how almost all of the four horsewomen are all heel capacity. Becky was the last to show us what heel persona looks like. And so maybe she's the gives two fucks givings, just do what I want because I'm the man. I like it because she didn't have no qualms about it.
City, before I go, do you want to add anything? It's okay if you don't. I know I haven't heard you in a minute, so do you want to?
No, I was just giving you guys plenty of room for a peaceful back and forth discourse. It was actually it was pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
No, the fact of it is, I don't agree with it being a squash match. I understand why they did what they did. Now that I'm hearing that from Michaels,
right?
And it is what it is. I mean, it's just a shitty list of circumstances. And quite frankly, you know, if they would have canceled the match, now you would have been fine with that, hypothetically speaking. And you even said it yourself, but hypothetically speaking, what if you were in the minority on that? What if the entire arena just basically shit on the rest of the event going forward after they say, hey, there's no more women's title match? Then obviously you're going to piss off certain people in the crowd, and a fair amount of them. And obviously with what was still yet to come in the show, that really would have made the entire rest of the show suffer.
That's a great point.
Very good point.
All right.
And by the way, DJ,
yeah,
it was rough week for your girls. Kiera Hogan goes on her big match. She gets lost on that one. Jeez, man. You had a bad week, brother.
All right, man. Let's go over to next one is Drew Mac.
That was like a certified fuck you.
Well, no, I mean, I was going to mention Kiera, but why are we going to get into Kiera right now when she's on a whole nother show? Let's just keep it going so we can get through SummerSlam. Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal was the next one.
That was the second worst fucking match of the whole fucking night. Waste of fucking time. And I couldn't even use the restrooms because the toilets kept flushing.
Well, there was so much bullshit in that match. That's why the toilets kept flushing.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know, the one thing that was definitely missing from the show again was the pyro.
Yep.
And we understand. I mean, from the setup, it was fucking nearly impossible to do that. But I don't know why they designed that. I mean, it seems like when it comes to these cuts, man, they're just making so much of it that it's
so.
All right, go ahead.
Actually, I'm going to actually point out something from Meltzer. Allegiant Stadium would not allow them to have pyro.
They didn't have approval. They can't have pyro. They didn't have approval.
Right.
And per event, they have to have approval.
So it wasn't a budgetary issue, that one.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
So did they need? So only thing it was that they needed approval. That was it, or they just are not allowed. Period inside the stadium.
No, they can. Actually, Garth Brooks' concert had pyro.
Oh, okay, so they
and the sources I'm hearing is per every event they have to go through a approval process or something, and I guess
and that must be something that takes some time, I guess, to get approved on.
I don't know.
Or they just wouldn't approve it, and that might have something to do with the actual set setup, as compared to how, let's say, the Garth Brooks concert is, or the Raiders games might have, some kind of touchdown explosions or something.
Because I mean, this setup was designed when tickets went on sale 3 months ago, which was
tickets. We're not talking tickets. We're talking about the aspect of the stadium roof being closed and the actual set configuration. It just might not have met the specs that the fire safety felt would be approvable. So it's more complex. I mean, this is something that we can't even really debate, because of the fact that there's more tiers to it than any of us know.
Well, that might be the case, yeah. But definitely, if the setup came after that, and that's where it gets, because again, the way that it was set up, again, it was really no way that it can be done. And that was at least known 3 months before tickets went on sale. So they must have known that wasn't going to happen when they got approval of the stadium, that wasn't going to happen. Because I think after we got the ticket configuration of that, we knew that tickets were going to go on sale maybe a month before. So we're talking a 4 to 6 month time frame that they knew that this wasn't going to happen. So it's just interesting.
So yeah, if they knew that wasn't going to happen, then it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do? You're not going to refigure everything to try to get a fire code approval, because we don't know if they did. Again, that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of layers.
Well, the funny thing is it's one thing that's apparent. WWE fans love pyro. And so for Allegiant Stadium, they're going to have a long time before their next event with WWE, and that's Money in the Bank. They're going to have to figure out something, because it ain't something that someone can say, oh, well, you WWE fans, y'all don't need pyro. No, we need pyro. It's a well-known fact. We get bitchy. It's like not giving a sandwich to someone when they're hangry. They need to figure this shit out.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the whole thing is just, and maybe that, and I'm sure that wasn't Allegiant call or whatever. And again, maybe nothing to debate about, but it's the only thing that I just find this disturbing of that is, first you automatically can tell the difference when you don't have it there, and you look for that, ready for those to take place. And the seat configuration, for whatever reason, from the beginning, they knew wasn't going to be set up like a standard Mania. They set it up like a baseball field stadium in a football. So that alone tells you that which makes me think that this was something that was maybe decided even way before Allegiant even got in there, and said it, because I really don't think they would be like, no fucking pyro codes and all this bullshit. They've been doing this shit for years. They can get that shit up if needed. But that configuration, which they designed when they figured out they were going to have a show, this would never come out, and it doesn't matter. I have this weird idea that I don't think they were going to really get possible 70,000. Think about it. The amount of attendance there was 50,000. I think they said on the screen, or 51,000.
51,000.
51. The stadium holds over 70, and that's not including what you put on the floor. So I think they were looking long run like, we can't use that entire stadium because it will look almost empty than it would packed. So I think they, from the beginning, thought baseball, but also said no fucking pyro. I don't know.
Bro, there was an entire tarped off section. Like,
right. Yeah, no.
It was insane. Basically,
Right.
For those of you that might not have been there to see it, the way that Allegiant Stadium is set up, it doesn't have any kind of a retractable roof. It has almost like a horizontal screen door kind of a thing. So that entire width, all the way down, was completely tarped off for whatever reason. So I don't know if maybe they were planning to do fireworks out in that section or something and just couldn't get it approved. But realistically, there's no reason why they should tarp off at least, I'd say 15-20% of the stadium.
Right. Yeah, I just think with COVID, I don't think they wanted to risk the idea of thinking that many people were going to show during this time. You know, they're still kind of iffy about it. I think, and maybe if it was Florida, but in the state here, they was like, I don't know, So
and don't forget too, one of the big factors that was very possible was the fact that they were like at a moment's notice ready to move it to Orlando because of the fact that there was so much shit going on here,
right?
With COVID. So
yeah,
but I think again, it's like fireworks though. Come on, who cares? So the last thing to get worked up about,
Well, I don't know. I hear what
we know. A lot of people that start bitching and complaining if they ain't got no fucking sparklers at a WWE event. So I mean, I'm just being fucking real with you. I know a handful of people that get pissed. I give two shits, but I'm being
listen. Real. Yeah, I tell you this: when you at if you maybe was on possibly on a Raw and SmackDown or even a house show. For that, you don't probably pay much attention to. But when you're at an event that's like this big, as big as it is, you do have that expectation. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you don't. I do.
I don't. I go to see a wrestling show, not a fireworks display.
But you know what, Impact? But that comes, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. On one premise.
You agree with who? We both.
I agree with you. Things. No. I agree with you on that premise. You should get what you paid for in a ticket. But we know WWE doesn't always do that. I paid for a WrestleMania ticket in New Orleans and got a fucking 12-year-old kid in a tag team match.
Hey, man, leave Dominic out of this. Leave Dominic out of this, okay? 12-year-olds are good in tag matches.
The Raw Women's Championship. Nikki ASH, Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley. Let's have it, guys. What's your take?
So, here's the queen.
So when does Nikki's release come?
Yep, pretty much.
That's a shame.
And it sucks.
I agree.
It sucks. Impact, the guys that were sitting to the left of us, huge Nikki Cross fans. And I was very candid when I said it sucks that WWE put her in some fucking leotards and fucking the superhero gimmick because she is that good to not need that shit. But WWE couldn't figure that shit out. And the guys did agree with me because they've been following Nikki Cross even before she got to NXT. So, she's that good. And it just sucks. I know we have
it seems like all indication was that she's the one who brought that idea to the table.
Yeah.
And this was kind of the last opportunity. And it's cool that you were sitting next to her husband.
I mean, was it her husband? I don't know.
Killian Dane. You didn't even know Killian Dane was sitting next to him, right? Just like, yeah, guys, I'm right, man. You guys, right on. Yeah, high five.
I wouldn't have known if it was Killian Dane because, I would know if he had like a shirtless, like a sleeveless shirt on. The amount of bear hair he has, yes.
Solid match. Solid match.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it was a really, really good match. Obviously, Charlotte going over here was definitely the best play. I came into the match. Yes, I would want Rhea to win this, but I can definitely see why Charlotte got the title. Let's be real about it. It allows them to add one more into the column, but you have a champion in Nikki ASH that, her gimmick was built around her being an underdog. what a better foil for her than somebody that is the best. And quite frankly, she's the best women's wrestler on any roster. It's
history.
Just it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the one thing that I found interesting, and I told Impact, was when it was all said and done, I said just before COVID and we went crowdless, Becky Lynch held she held 2 belts, but the same 2 women's champions, Charlotte and Becky, if I recall. So I think that's interesting that it's the same result we have now at SummerSlam. I'm good with Charlotte being champion anytime. Just to be completely honest with you, I'm good with it. I think Rhea Ripley needs more work. I know a lot of people who disagree with me. I think she needs more work. She's lacking something. I don't know what it is. She's lacking, and it ain't in ring stuff. I just feel like there's something that's missing, and I might stand alone on that idea. But I think in time, people start seeing what I'm seeing. Like there's something that's missing.
Well, this is all leading up to Charlotte going to AEW and putting the women's title in the trash can. So
history repeats itself, right?
Oh my God.
Maybe we'll have Xavier go there and be Razor Ramon in AEW.
No,
Lord.
No. Bro.
Was that not cringy?
That segment was the worst thing I've ever seen live in a wrestling show.
It was dry, opposite of moist.
And mind you, I saw Nicholas win the fucking tag team championships live. This was fucking worse.
Yeah.
Quite bluntly, it was the worst thing that I've ever seen live from WWE in any capacity. It
was sad.
Well,
still wasn't a rematch, so
it's only so many times you can get Bad Bunny, and he's already done what he needed to do. So you have to now do this drip stick. Sorry,
I guess.
All right, y'all.
Steve just don't like getting moist.
Oh
no, shit.
Edge, Seth Rollins. Wow.
The second reason why I'm hoarse. He fucking came out to the Brood's theme music. I lost my shit.
Dope.
Yeah.
I want him to come out every fucking night like that. I didn't know if Van Grill was gonna come out or what the fuck. I said, I know Christian Cage ain't coming out. But I was like, what the fuck, man?
Not unless they got somebody to be fucking fake Christian.
They should have had Corbin.
Woods.
They should have had Corbin. No, they should have had Corbin be fake Christian. Give him some money.
So Simon, that begs to ask you the question: did you watch SmackDown?
Did I watch SmackDown? No, I didn't get a chance to watch SmackDown. It's been so busy the whole weekend. So did he come in on that music or that he was doing that or what?
No, the music came on.
Yeah.
Seth was in a white suit, and he got a Brood bloodbath.
Oh, okay. So if I had saw that, okay.
Yeah, it was fucking
Gotcha.
yeah. So this whole throwback was the crux that Edge was using, is that you taken me to the place where you didn't want to take me, and now you're in big trouble.
Got you. Yeah, I only had enough time to watch one thing on Friday, and I'm sure we'll get into that later on in the show.
Well, yeah, excellent match. They just leading up to the match. I mean, you're talking 2 of the best promo givers. I mean, when they're there, you're just attentive. You just sit up there just listening to every word that come out of their mouth. And I mean, Edge, sometimes it's hard to even think that this is even acting as how good he is. Sometimes you be like, damn, he looked like he really pissed, like he's about to, knock out Seth, and Seth is on a whole nother game. These guys are just awesome, man. And it showed, and the match showed. So shout out to that. I really enjoyed that. One of my favorite matches of the night.
Damn near stole the show. That match.
Yeah. Or it could have been the next one that stole the match, the WWE Championship with Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg.
Oldberg. Goldberg.
You say that, and the match actually was surprisingly good in comparison to what it could have looked like.
You know what you sound like? You sound like that wife that says, you know what, honey, you lasted longer than you did, and we didn't have to use Blue Chew. Wasn't the best, but it lasted longer than last time. And that's pretty much what that match was.
See, I know why Matt Michaels is so hot on this match, and he has such a favorable attitude toward it.
Okay.
Goldberg damn near killed Bobby Lashley and dropped him on his head. I think that's the exact reason why Michaels is happy with this fucking match. Am I right?
Yeah, of course.
There you go.
Of course. And I got to see Goldberg's kid, who Goldberg's kid is only a sophomore. And boy, he makes Hook look like Hook is Darby Allin's like little brother.
Yep. That boy's eating nothing but just protein. He wake up in the morning with protein shakes and fucking creatine and all that shit. Doing reps and clanging and banging. Goldberg probably got that boy waking up at 3 a.m. with a workout regimen of a grown-ass man.
Well, it's easy to stick a needle in the ass of your kid.
Oh boy.
But you know what I will say about that match real quick? The one good thing that I did like about it is that, again, they're trying to build up Bobby Lashley to go against these competitors, even though he's an old one, and I give Goldberg shit. Goldberg brought the intensity, even though it was of that of an old man, and he looked like, I think it was a Jeddah where he just kind of looked like he was running out of steam. Yeah. So, I mean, so if I'm going to see an older person, an older wrestler that looks jacked, that's the way I would like to see it, more realistic.
Simon, would you say that Goldberg displayed his old man strength in that match?
He sure the fuck did. He had a couple of good, you know how the old man got one good punch?
Yep.
Yeah, but his energy ran out when he threw Bobby Lashley and was landing on his head. He was like, oh shit, I know I got you.
He's definitely better than the old man that showed up on Friday night.
Oh, Jesus.
Shout out to Sean, who says Goldberg's kid, Hook, Dominic, and -1 should be booked in a fatal 4-way. Oh man.
Call it a puberty match.
That would be that would be just excessive. Just violence.
Well, I tell you this, Goldberg was definitely hated so much. To hear Bobby Lashley have so much cheers, it was shocked. I'm like, wow, they like Bobby Lashley.
He couldn't even go over, or he couldn't be a heel capacity because he was so over with the crowd. Like,
man, I love it. I love that theme music, man. And now to hear it from a stadium standpoint, I even like it more.
It hits more. It just hits differently in live.
Yeah, it's just it's dope. I like it.
Yeah, the Goldberg theme is awesome. It always has been.
Well, hey, Goldberg's got a tight theme too, man. I ain't gonna take away from that. I mean.
No, but Michaels is right. Like, even though Goldberg was what showed up, Goldberg is always fantastic to hear live. If you heard it the first time when you were younger, I kind of felt a little nostalgia seeing it, hearing it. You know what I mean?
And shout out to the head of security for Goldberg, Vinny Wasco, showing up.
It sure was. Put that on your resume, young man.
Yeah. All right. Universal Championship, Roman Reigns versus John Cena. This man, everyone was ready for this, man. This was a hyped match. Did it deliver, guys?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah. I was really hoping, and I know I wasn't going to get it, and I made the comment on the Vegas Badboyz social media, but I wanted the guillotine to happen on Cena. I know he wasn't a tap, but that right there would have just been the great. He did attempt it at one point.
Yeah, you almost got it. Got it.
But I was like, oh man, that would have just been the shit right there. Now that, you know what? I would have had to go ahead and go on and buy another Roman Reigns mask. I would have to go ahead and do that if he did that. for the wife. Anyway,
so you admit you wore it. You was wearing the mask. I've been asking about that for the past 3 almost years. Like you be using that mask.
It is a mask because it was purchased for you.
Yeah. For you and the wife to have the candles lit and for you to be acknowledged.
Guys, no, real shit though. Really good match. And
is that what we call head at the table?
The lead up to this match was good also. I enjoyed all the different talks and everything that we heard at promos, I guess I should say, on SmackDown leading up to it. They were on fire, and from both of them. So yeah, I mean, good match. Like you guys agreed, that was a good match.
Oh yeah.
And then again, after John Cena takes that 3, we get to see Brock Lesnar.
Well, who called it at the event? But I did it at the wrong match.
Here we go.
I did. But I called it at the Bobby Lashley match. I said I have a feeling Lesnar's gonna be here. All right, now, and I did at first say it was for the Bobby Lashley match because I have been saying for a long time. To me, it only makes sense that if you're gonna try and have the next opponent for either Reigns or Bobby Lashley, should be Brock Lesnar. I did say that. It's on the tape. Y'all can watch that shit. But it was interesting enough. There was a gentleman who was a Cena fan. And he was like, if Lesnar comes out, I think at first he said, I'm going to give you a hug or something. Said, I'll just take a fist pump. You know, but sure enough, I didn't think it was going to happen. I was like, well, I guess I'm wrong. Simon Street wrong all the time. Guess add another one. Sure enough, the music hit. And I was like, well, goddamn, a dog can have a bone every day. And I had my bone that day, and that man, he looked for me. Impact, you my witness. This man, grown-ass man, looked for me as if like I was
He gave you a bone?
No,
hello.
But he looked for me because he remembered what I had said. You know, it was interesting. And Lesnar looked like a juiced up Ragnar Rothbrooke from the Viking. I thought this motherfucker came. I mean, of course he's from Minnesota, but I'm just saying he looked like a fucking Viking. I mean, fuck.
Well, it was exciting to see because we all wanted to see, and my eyes totally was just on Paul Heyman the whole time. That's when he came out, that's all I stared at was that Paul Heyman, you know, and that's what makes that so great, just to see
exactly,
yeah, how that's gonna go.
You know what he looked like, right? He looked like that wife that get caught cheating. Like you get right in the door. He was looking at Roman Reigns. He was looking at Brock Lesnar. He just looked like he got caught cheating. Like,
well, I can't wait for the inevitable Paul Heyman on a forklift match. That'll be fun.
And then they dropped his ass.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Steve. You're thinking too small. You're thinking too small, man. We have to have a big vat that will be filled with cement.
Oh
shit.
Because wasn't it Paul Heyman that brought that whole thing into play?
Yeah.
With the Undertaker and the Dudleys. So make it full circle and Paul Heyman has to go into concrete.
No, fuck. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Boy, Brock, dude. You talk about a guy who looks like Jesus. You don't want to cross him at all. Imagine if that's the guy you cut off driving on the freeway.
Yeah, exactly.
And he fucking looked like he don't work out like regular human beings. You know, regular human beings will go to the gym and some shit. He looked like somebody do some shit that Rocky did in Rocky 5 when he went to Russia and shit, lifting whole fucking logs and shit, picking up whole cows and shit. You know, he worked on a dairy farm. He do some old school shit, man. Like, he looked fucking fantastic.
Yeah, he does all this old school shit, and then he has a man bun now.
Oh, you know what? I ain't saying that shit.
I ain't saying that expressed shit on the Vegas Badboyz.
That's all Michaels. It's all Michaels, man. You go to Suplex City. How many you gonna eat? More than Cena?
So apparently, what I didn't know, of course, when you're in, I guess the show went off the air and Brock Lesnar, of course, showed him walking out, and that was the end of the show. From what you guys saw, for people saw on Peacock, what I didn't know, because we were still in the arena, he came back into the ring and started beating up on John Cena.
Yep.
Which was great and which was fine. And it was fine to see. But yeah, that was a little bit of something extra that took place. Man,
incidentally,
yeah.
Impact.
Yeah.
I actually I just uploaded a clip of that. Of that exclusive footage to our Vegas Badboyz Instagram. So maybe if you guys want to go check out Instagram.com/Vegas Badboyz. And there's some exclusive footage there, and caught the entire Cena drubbing, I guess you could say.
So
right.
So I have a question. Maybe y'all can answer this. Is this the exclamation point in the end of the season of Cena?
It wasn't on TV, bro.
I don't give a shit if it's on TV. The motherfucker was talking about the season of Cena. Come blah blah blah. Slash deals on 2005's greatest Cena merch. I mean, is this the end of Cena as far as the season? Because I'm done with Cena with the beginning of season 1.
It was the summer of Cena.
Whatever the fuck.
The Summer Slam is over. Shut the fuck up and go see one of his films, all right?
I already saw his film.
Oh man.
They had a lot of grown-ass men who were Cena fans that were drying their Cena tears with the do not give up shit rags.
Listen, I will tell you all this. There was a sea of green shirts. I hadn't seen that in so long. And I mean, not just kids. Grown men with, headbands on and wristbands.
But let's be realistic though. See, we're still looking from it from a perspective. You forget Cena's been in this now 20 years.
True.
The guys who are wearing that stuff now are people who were, 5 to 12 years old back when he started. So these are the fans now, the adults. But it's something that's different than it used to be, because of the fact that in the past, guys would be, wrestling consistently, and then you really got fucking sick of them. I think this proves the fact that when you bring guys in for only a couple months, it adds something to that nostalgia where you can get behind it, but it doesn't ruin your product for, let's say, a 3-year commitment where you wrestle for pay-per-views and only a couple television shows, like some wrestlers have.
Well, you know, it's interesting you say that too, because when you said that, I thought immediately, okay, we've been wanting The Rock to come back for a while, just to do something. And then that's really going to be hard because he's a very busy man. But when he does come back, them fucking merch sales are going to be crazy. And the cool thing that I think they did with Cena, and even though I made fun of it, I told Impact it was smart. A lot of those shirts that you could buy on the shop were some of the same versions of the 2005 shirts. So it made it possible to where you could still participate, right? If you didn't have the money at the time to have an upgraded Cena shirt. And so I think of the same thing with The Rock, or if someone does come back in whatever capacity, do that, go back, because I guarantee you there were people that bought, if they grew some bigger from when they were 15 to 10 years later, 25, they probably went and bought that same shirt again because they loved it and they fell in love with it. So it is definitely some opportunity as far as merch sales go for that. But shout out, I'm not a Cena fan, but I did like that shirt he had on with the titles in the back. And the shout out to Super Mario World 3, Cena looking like a raccoon with a tail and shit. That was pretty cool.
Well, it's funny. I've always been a fan of Cena, but I never cared for none of his gear. I never wanted a shirt or anything. It was always too loud. It was just, I don't know.
Pebbles. It was called Fruity Pebbles. That's what The Rock called it, Fruity Pebbles.
I've never owned one thing, but I've always enjoyed seeing him and I've cheered him on as well. But yeah, I just can't get down with none of his gear at all. But guys, that right there was SummerSlam. Overall, you guys were pleased with the show? Yeah.
Yes.
I gotta go.
I was thoroughly sports entertained.
Sure. Absolutely.
I like that. I give it on a 1 to 10. I honestly give it an 8.5.
All right. I still got to go back and watch it just to hear the commentary on a lot of it. But yeah, I enjoy being there and yeah, man, it was exciting to see that when Money in the Bank was announced, like yes, I get to do this again. So yeah. All right, y'all. Well, that was SummerSlam. Let's just move right into NXT Takeover, which took place tonight. It kicked off with Cameron Grimes versus LA Knight for the $1 Million Championship. All I'm going to say is this. I remember from the very beginning, maybe you guys would give me my props, that I said, man, I don't see nothing wrong with Cameron Grimes. I'm enjoying this guy. Because, there was others that didn't seem to get him. And I was like, this guy is fire. And now you could even see now star just written all over him. I enjoyed the match. It was really great, very well telling story. Ted getting involved. It was great to see that as well. What's you guys take on that first match of the night? And shout out to LA Knight, man. He's just been on fire too. He just came right in and just, yeah. This whole storyline has just been great.
I'll just say this towards what you said, Impact. You weren't the only one. I think majority of us felt that Cameron Grimes, in fact, I think 99.1% of us all thought that Cameron Grimes, was golden, to be honest with you. Again, he just shows us he's ready. And for wherever he goes, if he goes up to the main roster, I think that he has something he brings to the table that it would be hard for main roster WWE to fuck it up. And I'm saying this boldly. I'm saying it boldly. It's just because he just has that distinct flavor about him. And he did great today. He really did. It set the tone for the rest of the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Was you gonna say something, Matt, or I just?
Oh no.
Okay.
It was it was as good as you could imagine. That type of match being. And it also, the biggest factor in this was them deciding to take DiBiase and go from the heel to the face.
Yeah.
And I think they kind of saw that they got it wrong, so they kind of corrected it. And
right, yeah,
that was smart.
Yep,
I like the
fact that was actually something I was going to mention. Michael's like you hit that right on the head. I think that this is them undoing a booking mistake that they made. So realistically, it's not going to do any disservice whatsoever to LA Knight for losing this match. Now he can go elsewhere and do his thing, but now you've built up Grimes as well. So
yeah,
if they were smart, and hopefully they might be listening, what they should do is LA Knight should show up with his new butler, and that'd be Mike Jones or Virgil, for those of you who don't know who Mike Jones is. That would be the next step to the feud.
That would be awesome.
You know what, Michael? Very few times will I ever say that some of the shit you say is just spot on. That was fucking spot on, because I was thinking the same thing last week when we were talking about butlers in a job position. He is the perfect butler in pro wrestling history.
That's hilarious. All right, let's move on. For the women's NXT Women's Championship, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. I guess not really no surprises there, but what's your guys' take on the match overall?
There was definitely a surprise. The surprise was they let Dakota Kai kind of go off, and you got a chance to see just how good Dakota Kai is. Yes, she lost the match ultimately, but you saw an intensity from Dakota Kai that we haven't seen since the Mae Young Classic, to be honest with you. And a lot of people may not agree with me, but I've always been quite fond of Dakota Kai. I felt like, yes, is she better? Is she up there with Charlotte and them? Maybe not. But if you put her on the main roster, she's someone that can go. I know Michaels may say she'll probably job out maybe, but I feel like there's a lot to her. And she really showed a lot of ring prowess in this match, against Dakota.
I'd rather see her on the main roster wrestling than Carmella or, Eva.
Marie. Yeah.
Those people. So, yeah, I mean, and if she has to job out, she jobs out, but she at least gives you an option that makes it more viable that she could actually kick someone's ass than fucking Eva Marie.
Like, even in the beginning of the match, it was amazing how she really utilized Quickness and Speed. And first, what I thought of was a lot of matches with Dolph Ziggler. If you remember in the beginning of his career, he would always showcase, he ain't got the size, but he's got the fucking speed, and he can get you like that. And she showed that in the beginning of the match, and I just appreciated it.
At the end, yes, Raquel retained the title. At the very end, I guess appeared Kaylee Ray. I am not familiar with her. How excited should I be that she apparently is going to be coming after Raquel? She's the UK Women Champion. What should I be expecting about Kaylee Ray? Or are you guys enough? Okay, go ahead, please.
No, so Kaylee Ray she's been
Kaylee, I'm sorry.
Kaylee Ray, yeah.
Kaylee, okay.
She's a mainstay on the NXT UK programming. She's been extremely talented for a long time, finally getting her break. And she finally, with her NXT UK Women's Championship run, has opened more eyes. And it's great to see a career progression, like what I've seen with Kaylee Ray. And hopefully now everybody in NXT can, that watches NXT can take note of that too. I think that this is possibly the person that they're going to groom to take that title from Raquel.
She can do it. She's gritty as they come.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, really quick, I just want to mention Sean sent a little something, and I did hear about this. Getting back to that Cena shirt.
Wow.
And CM Punk had the same type of design for a shirt, which is all fine and dandy. But once again, not only is Cena a better competitor, but his shirt looks way better than CM Punk's does.
But you know what? I'm cool with that. And the reason why I say that I'm cool with that is because it's always been CM Punk and Cena for a lot of people. And so even though we'll get to other stuff later, things that'll happen in the future, that opens up possibilities, at least in my mind. Maybe I'm just a fucking kid that excited about that in the future, but I'm just saying, I kind of like that shit.
Sure. Fireworks.
Well, apparently not at Allegiant Stadium, so we'll get over
apparently
it.
Not.
Well, I was really I wasn't prepared for our next match. I guess I was just completely wowed. The NXT UK Championship. Now, I've always been a fan of Walter, but I really haven't seen any matches. I haven't been watching NXT for a minute. Ilja Dragunov.
Fucking amazing, right? Have you been watching NXT the last couple of weeks? For people who don't watch NXT UK, I'm just saying they gave you gifts beforehand.
I was sitting back thinking, like, because I'm thinking, like, where would he fit on any main roster? Like, who can handle that? I'm just like thinking to myself, because he's just that good. I mean, like, he's a whole different style. I thought Timothy Thatcher was different until I now saw him. That's just listen. I'm telling you.
Are you talking about Dragunov, or are you talking about Walter, or are you talking about both?
Kind of both.
Right.
I hope you're saying we're both.
Dragunov.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I've seen Walter.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen Walter. Yeah. Walter, I'm not familiar with Dragunov. I'm sorry. Walter, I am. He's been around for a minute. And I'm sorry to make that clear. Yeah, I was very impressed by him. And everything of what I say, because we make these, when we always compare and we say, hey, we have somebody that's small that's going to get somebody that's big. And look, I know you're going to have that where you're going to have that transition of someone's going to, someone small beating someone big. The question becomes, how do you sell it? Make me believe that you did your best to win that. He is the perfect example of that. That's the only thing that I'm saying. It's when I at first I didn't even understand why they were having the match. I mean, I saw the breakdown, the promo, and I'm like, but because I haven't been watching NXT, I'm being honest with you guys, so I didn't know what was going on from that. And I watched it.
You didn't go back. You didn't go watch their match from UK.
Yeah,
no,
from the Mania weekend, right?
Yeah,
nope. So it was after this was new for me, and I was just, I was just amazed. I was wild, and so shout out to him. Congratulations for winning that. But again, I was sitting back going, who do you match him up? Because any person you put, you're going, he'll kill him, he'll destroy him, he'll beat him. I couldn't even imagine, he move up to the main roster. He has, I don't know, you name anybody, a match, I don't know, The Miz, and The Miz beat him. Not after I just saw what he just did. To Walter.
But
you know what I
but
mean?
that goes to the point. And I think this is very, very crucial in understanding that is the perfect person to be the NXT UK champion, because it's different styles.
Yes.
Over, and it always has been. In the UK, it's more of a shoot type of feel to the
Gotcha. Okay. All right. That would make perfect sense.
But here's something that I will say, and again, this is something that I wish WWE main roster would kind of do. Maybe not. I remember back in the day when we would watch any match that would have Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, if you will, that persona. It seemed like whoever he faced, the match would be that much more elevated because of his hardcore style in that persona. So sometimes I always wonder, when you have a lot of, these British pro wrestlers who are very much bare knuckle, brawler type, that if they go to the main roster or something like that, they either tailor a match that kind of, makes what their style is seem that much more better. So it puts the situation for, anybody who's competing against them to kind of have to raise the bar some kind of way, because it could very well make some matches much better, in my opinion. Like I could see Dragunov going against a Damian Priest, and Damian Priest having to up his level based on whatever they tailor the match to because of the way that they sign. And maybe that's just me having a wish list that might be too much to do, I guess, for it to be functional.
You're missing one of the most obvious, I think, comparisons in the sense, and that is he's Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
Yep.
He literally is that size. And also, to go to point, when you look at his size, unlike a guy like Darby Allin, who looks like a kid, like why the hell could that guy beat that guy? Dragunov looks like the guy you don't want to meet in the bar.
Yep.
Right.
3 a.m. when he's drunk and exploding. So,
speaking of bars, wouldn't you like to see him versus the likes of what'd you call it? Sheamus.
If he breaks Sheamus's nose, yeah.
I would like to see a bar fight with him and Sheamus. Let's put it that way. Before Sheamus is done.
As long as Sheamus doesn't wear his ring gear and wears the wife beater and the suspenders, absolutely.
Yes.
Well, yeah, man, good stuff. Like I say, that was just a great match. To me, that probably was match of the night for me. But
DJ, how do you top that match? Was there a match right after it?
There was the Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly part 3.
Jesus,
boy, was it a part 3. Before you go into it, is NXT not the one place where they find used to be best friends become enemies to where you're not mad if we have to repeat this shit? Like, they have got the sauce with this shit.
Yeah. It's awesome.
So we got a chance to see part 3 of this. Great storytelling and for that, this entire run. And man, you know, what happened was the way it was supposed to happen. It was perfect. Because I'd be honest with you, I when Kyle got handcuffed, I was like, well, how is he supposed to pin him now? I ain't gonna lie. That's the first thing that came to mind until I saw him put him in the submission. Like, oh shit, I forgot you could do that. You know,
Yep.
You know. So, but excellent way to end the story. And if anybody needed that, you know, Kyle needed that.
Yes.
Yeah. Where do you think this goes, man? What's your guys' take on, you know, what you've seen and where this goes from here?
Adam Cole main roster.
You think he want to go? I don't know if he want to go. I think Adam wants to
It ain't a question of
Yep.
Okay, good.
Or
Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
No.
Adam Cole to AEW.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Adam Cole to AEW.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he doesn't have a contract right now, so he finished.
Yeah, this was his last day.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
I got to get more involved, man. You guys be reading this shit, and I don't be.
Well, I didn't understand why they didn't put a loser leaves stip on this match, because realistically speaking, it's going to be Adam Cole either going to the main roster or to AEW, and that's legit. Like, it's going to be one or the other.
I don't think they wanted to put the. You know, how many times do we say they fuck up, right?
Yeah.
I think for once they kind of thought with their heads and were like, well, if we do that, then we're just kind of, and we're legitimately saying loser leaves. So let's give it a little more drama to it, because, you know, every time you hear a loser leaves match, and then if you know that contracts are up, there you go.
Yeah.
But they're still holding possibility to re-signing him. So
we'll see.
We'll see.
Chris in the chat says, so Adam Cole is dating Britt Baker. Rumors to AEW confirmed. Yep. And that's all he said. I will tell you that in one of the I saw a tweet that came through earlier from Britt Baker, and it just said "Baby" right after his match. So shout out.
That is his girlfriend. So let's hope she can shout out. Great job, Kyle.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go to the next one. The last one, actually, the NXT Championship, Samoa Joe versus Karrion Kross.
Really good.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. You probably already know this. I'm a huge Samoa Joe fan. I've always have been, and I had my Markish moment tonight. I did. I was like, why don't
you?
He
does. He marks out.
Leave me alone, Steve. Yeah, I can mark out. But I had my moment. I was up there going, see, why don't he go up against Roman Reigns and then he now could get his moment of being. I had that moment tonight. But bottom line is, the match was it was awesome.
You know what's great about you, brother?
What's that?
You legitimately think his first name is Samoa. That's the kind of fan you are.
Instead of Joe.
What's even funnier?
You know what? When I had to see him walking around with a Provoke Me shirt, and I said, "Oh, I've got to buy that." Seriously, I seriously said I got to go on there and buy that. I didn't know he had that shirt. I got to get it. You know, yeah, it's bad, but nice. But go ahead. What do you guys want to mention about this particular? He's three-time NXT champion.
Perfect. It's the best plan, and they kept saying it over and over and over again, going into the next chapter of NXT, through, because there's going to be changes. Come Tuesday night, you are going to see changes, new logos, new way things are run. Samoa Joe is definitely NXT property at this point. Obviously, the way he came back being released and then coming into, it's a perfect person. So funnel everything through him as far as your champion, and then whatever those changes are, have it go through him. It's perfect. Karrion Kross, as we know, is going to be main roster. That's going to be interesting. I hope that Scarlett is cleared, because she hasn't been cleared yet I'd like to see him go main roster with Scarlett.
So
She's
is that
missing from him?
So is that the issue? Because I was about to ask you guys again. I don't read up on anything. Where the hell has Scarlett been? What do you mean cleared? What's going on?
Well, she hasn't been cleared. Many reports have said, and I'm not saying that so that Michael can tear one into me, but many reports have actually said that she just hasn't been cleared, and that's why she hasn't been present for the last.
What does that mean? Like clear from COVID?
I don't know. It could be COVID. It could be an illness. It could be an injury. We don't know.
They haven't attributed it to anything.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most likely, it's probably COVID.
Okay. But she's definitely something that is a part of what Karrion Kross brings, her mystique, presence, and everything. So, wish list for Simon Street when he does make his official debut, if you can even call it that. He does it with Scarlett by his side. So.
Well, he already made his official debut.
I know. That's why I put the quotations.
It's going to be one of those things where he starts getting it. But the brilliance of tonight and the brilliance of the idea of the future comes down to one simple thing. That NXT UK belt is not on Walter anymore. And guess who Walter and an NXT champion? I don't know, man.
Yep.
That could be one of the best matches you'll ever see.
Mm-hmm.
Hard hitting shit.
Walter and Samoa Joe. Sign me up.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Takeover always do well, never disappoint. So shout out to number 36 that took place tonight. All right. A lot of wrestling went down in Vegas this weekend. We just wanted to talk a little bit about that. And then when we finish that, we're going to take a small little break for those that are watching us live. It'll be the end of of Monday's podcast, and then we'll start back recording right after it because we got a lot to talk about with the rest of the wrestling shows. But let's talk a little bit about what happened local, being that some of you guys did go to the shows. You can just speak on whatever. What was you impressed by? What did you get a chance to see? How was the fan reaction? Was there a lot of did it appear to be a lot of locals or maybe a lot of out-of-towners? I know I'll tell you this. I didn't know much about GCW. And when I started looking into them, these guys are pretty big as for an indie type company. Yeah. They travel around. Like, again, I'm sorry, I knew nothing about this. I'm thinking they're like like our local FSW. They got like
do you realize we do a wrestling podcast?
Exactly.
I do. And I'm learning all the time, So, and that's why you guys made me host, so I don't have to have a thought about anything. I just learn. So I appreciate that. Thank you for the position. So let's talk about what happened locally out here in the Vegas area. Just what you saw, what was you impressed by, and let's just talk a little bit about that. Any one of you can go.
Steve, why don't you start off with your experiences?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about GCW Off the Rails, which came to us from Meet Las Vegas, not MEAT, folks, MEET Las Vegas. It was a how should I say this? It was it brought back vibes and imagery from the PWG shows where you have a lot of people crammed into a building and it was hot as shit. But the action was also pretty hot too. So there was a 6-way scramble match. Juventud Guerrera defeated Eli Everfly, Lucas Riley, Matt Vandegrift, Ninja Mac, and Trey Lamar. So getting to see the juice get loose on a GCW show was fun.
Quick question, because I haven't seen the match yet. Did Juventud look better in the ring with those guys as compared to going against Jericho? Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So I think that we can draw our own conclusions there at this point. Yeah. Up next was the GCW World Title match. Matt Cardona defeated Sam Stackhouse. And if you're unfamiliar with Sam Stackhouse, he is approximately 450 pounds. and he's a large man. And Matt Cardona came to the ring dressed in cosplay as Vince McMahon with the do-rag from ECW Championship days. Oh my God. It was a fucking hilarious. Quite possibly one of the better things to happen to Matt Cardona in retrospect will be him getting released. He has so much buzz around him, and he's trending on Twitter. And I can almost guarantee that he is going to wind up in a much better place than if he just sat there, collecting, a paycheck, doing the occasional job. But yeah, dude, fun match. There were a couple of hope spots in this one, but it was a squash match.
Yeah.
Up next was Jimmy Lloyd against Dark Sheik. And these guys busted out the stapler gun. They busted out a staple spot, and oh my God. I uploaded a couple of clips to our Instagram of them just stapling each other, and it was definitely interesting. Jimmy Lloyd did pick up the win in about 12 and a half minutes. It's a very solid match. There was, the staple gun spot. There were some chairs and stuff used. But as we'll talk about later, not a whole lot of violence on this occasion. And we would find out why on the next day. But after that, Dante Leon defeated Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne is like 16 years old and the son of Buddy Wayne, wrestling legend. So pretty awesome to see Nick all over the shows this weekend. And I'll tell you, man, for being 16, 17 years old, this kid has got an amazing future ahead of him, whichever path that he chooses to go. We had Effie defeating Ricky Morton in just a fun match. One thing including, it built up to a giant spot where Ricky Morton just planted one on fucking Effie, just kissed him right in the mouth, tongue and everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was interesting. Effie did get the roll up win with a hook in the tights, small package style, in about 5.5 minutes. That was good. Elsewhere, Jordan Oliver defeated Starboy Charlie. Pretty good match. Both of these guys, I definitely noticed Jordan Oliver as being more of a breakout star. He's just got it. I think that he's definitely going to be getting some looks from a lot of promotions before too long. Elsewhere, we had AJ Gray defeating Ali Catch in about 11 minutes, 20 seconds. Pretty solid match, pretty brutal match. Obviously, whenever you have AJ in there and whenever you have Ali in there, anything can happen. But pretty solid stuff there. Then we got to some might say that this was borderline on dream match if both guys were in their prime. Too Cold Scorpio, ladies and gentlemen, versus Chris Bay. And Chris Bay picks up the win, 16:47. Scorpio was in there. He was giving it everything that he had, man. Chris Bay was pushing him, and it was a very, very solid match. But yeah, Chris Bay, dude, he's rocking the Bullet Club gear. He's over wherever he goes. This guy's just a superstar. We've known that for years. And quite frankly, got one of the loudest pops of the night. So, and then in your main event, it was a 6-man tag team death match. 4-4-0. Atticus Cougar, Eric Ryan, and Ricky Shane Page defeated the MDK gang, Mance Warner, Matthew Justice, and Nick fucking Gage. 18 minutes, 20 seconds. I'll be honest, there were no light tube spots until maybe the last 2 minutes of the match. Very, very conservative use of light tubes. And it just, this match did not resonate with me. I don't know what it was. It felt flat. When the finish happened, it didn't resonate at all, man. I found myself leaving to go to Natural Born Killers at this time, kind of deflated, man. Not gonna lie. So,
bottom line, I guess, GCW, when you see that they're in your town, you should definitely go by and see a show.
Oh, hell yeah. Definitely go see GCW.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, the shows are unpredictable as hell. So
absolutely.
You also have to be someone who understands what you're going to see.
Yes, without a doubt. Let me preface that. You're going to watch people that will bleed. You're going to go watch people get thrown through glass. There will be blood. There will be violence. There will be ultra violence. It is not for the faint of heart, nor for children.
Perfect.
Period.
Okay. What else happened this weekend that's you guys want to mention that happened? You know, maybe a favorite match or something that took place. Your experience, fans, local, more out of towners. Michaels, Simon Street, go ahead.
You're on mute, Street.
My bad. I didn't get a chance to really go Saturday. I believe the event Saturday night. And I wish I could have, because I know Michaels was there, right?
It was Saturday at noon.
Yeah, Saturday at noon. I couldn't go, but I heard that was an amazing match, and it got very, very bloody. I'm sure Michaels.
We'll talk about it. Yeah. Talk about it. But talk about what you saw today.
I thought it was the whole weekend that we're talking about. Okay, for sure. So today got a chance to go to FSW or FSWW, which was their women's event, part 2. And it was really good. A lot of the matches, some people I've heard of, or some of the female competitors I've heard of, some of them I haven't. I found out that, what was the young lady? Because Michaels, you were there as well. I was trying to think of her real name, but she went by the name of Barbados chocolate or Caribbean chocolate.
Yeah, it's Jocelyn.
It's against Jordan Blue, right? She went against Jordan Blue.
No. Jocelyn Navarro and Vert went against each other, and by the way, that was one hell of a solid match. Those two really worked, and it was nice. It was really nice.
It was really, really good. And like I said, I wasn't familiar with the both of them, and so now definitely want to learn more. So they did a good job with showcasing people that maybe a lot of us haven't heard, which is good. But the biggest part came from the end, which was Sandra Moon versus Maserati for the FSW Women's Championship. Pretty much for people who don't know, Sandra Moon, this would be her last opportunity to go for this title forever. So if she didn't get the job done, it wasn't going to happen. And previous time that she actually did win, what most people would ascertain, but that belt was immediately taken back to her because of a technicality of interference. So that was pretty heartfelt. So this match had a lot of passion. Everybody was in tuned. You definitely saw a new side of Sandra Moon. She went in deep, focused, relentless, and the match was a doors, ladders, and chairs match. So you knew those things were in play, and every bit of it was in play. And shouts out go to Maserati as well. They put on a solid match. Everybody was emotionally invested, and Sandra Moon was able to do it. And she is your new FSW Women's Champion. Very deserving, very emotional at the end. She gave a brilliant speech about, how this means a lot to her, about the women who held that title before, of course. The many people, Taya Valkyrie, Lacey Ryan, so many great people that have held that title and what that means to her and the legacy of FSW Women's Championship. So solid show. I brought my son. He was excited about it. You had, other matches that went on that were just as good. Excited for the next one.
All right, perfect, man.
Maserati got a nasty
Yeah.
cut on her face. She got cut open on the head. And then Sandra Moon power bombs from the ladder Maserati through the door. It was one of the most impactful fucking sounds you'll ever hear in your life. And thank God Maserati's okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah.
But Maserati can survive something like that because her workout regimen is fearless. I mean, that woman works out every day.
Well, unless you're training with doors in mind.
Well, I'm talking about her back muscles. No, real talk. When she go, because I go to the same gym that she does, so I see her oftentimes. And let me tell you, her back routine, she's swole. Like real talk. Like I wouldn't fuck with her.
Well, let me ask you, Matt, man, as we get ready to come to a close, what was your experience out there checking out? I know you went to quite a few shows out there that happened, at least with that were ran by FSW. How was the experience? How was the atmosphere? A lot of locals, maybe a lot of out-of-towners. Any favorite matches you enjoy?
You really want the answer of the locals versus out-of-towners. I honestly can say that, and I'm sure Steve can confirm, GCW has their people from out of town who went to these shows. So that's majority of where you got the out-of-towners from. I think that one of the biggest flaws this whole weekend for all these companies is that the advertising wasn't hitting all these different areas that it needed to hit. Yep. So that there were some of the fans who did not know that there were other shows going on. So that was a very interesting thing, but the fans showed up 100% behind everything. Natural Born Killers was tough because it didn't end up starting till about 11:30 because GCW took fucking forever to do their show and they pushed their time back and stuff. So Jake something at the start of the show was still in a Denver airport. Yeah, Jake something, his connector flight got delayed. And as of about 10:30 at night, they hadn't even boarded the plane yet. So he literally basically got to the arena and went against Tom Lawler coming off a plane.
No shit.
Yeah, it was a good match. It was a good main event. And there were good things that were happening on that card. Eva Marie, Brett the Threat put on a great match. So Robbie Litt, J Cafe, had a great, good match too to start it off. And Graves and Tito Escondido, just a lot of good stuff on that. And then of course that's MMA mixed in with wrestling. So it was a hybrid show. And if anyone wants to check out Natural Born Killers, Fight TV, all these pay-per-views were for FSW this weekend on Fight TV. And GCW versus FSW, the battle for Las Vegas, went to GCW. You know what? There were a lot of good matches from start to finish. The crowd was fucking hot. Remy Marcel got a fucking dart stuck in his head, which was just fucking brutal. And I do apologize, Remy. I understand it's all my fault. So I got you, brother. And they had a big FSW versus GCW former and tag. The biggest thing that happened there is that Toa turned on FSW team, and him and Juicy ended up teaming up and winning that for GCW. The MK Army is in full swing, so expect more for FSW to go through with a lot on that story. You had Starboy Charlie going against Chris Bay, which was a solid match, and there was a lot in there, including Effie versus Disco Inferno. Effie cut one of the most incredible fucking promos that's been in the last 5 years, man. It was so fucking good. And Disco started it off by cutting his own promo that Effie just went to town on, and it was just beautiful. Those two worked so well together. And, you know, Effie is one of the best fucking wrestlers on the planet, period, bar none. But that main event, AJ Gray and Nick fucking Gage versus Funny Bone and Cody, cutthroat Cody Hancock, man. I'll tell you right now, you know, everything was set so that this match was something Cody wanted. He wanted to prove himself. He wanted to prove that FSW could hang with a company that is considered the best independent wrestling company in this country. And I've never seen three other guys in a match work so fucking hard and so well at really making it Cody's match. And this is the truth. Nick Gage fucking destroyed Cody. He cut him with the pizza cutter. He fucking, you know, right at the beginning of the match, before the bell even hit, Nick Gage finished the sentence and immediately just speared Cody through a fucking door. And it was just unreal. And then he took a portion of that door and started the first carve of Cody's head. Then he pulls out the pizza cutter. And you had shit like they put a guardrail where Gage was on the guardrail and Funny Bone did a stomp down onto the guardrail. I mean, there was some crazy shit in the arena. But then they go through the backstage into the back parking lot where the light tubes and the fucking garbage bin, and my God, it became a carving bloodbath. And the most amazing thing, and this is where you have to give Cody the absolute credit as being one of the toughest people around, is Gage is fucking cutting him. And as soon as Gage, you know, throws down, you know, thinking that Cody's, you know, done, and he throws down the fucking shard of glass, Cody gets immediately back up and he just fucking starts wailing in. And, you know, they move back into the arena, and finally, you know, the pin is made and Gage and AJ Gray win that match. But if you want to see one of the most brutal fucking things you'll ever see, go to Fight TV, buy the pay-per-view. You'll be entertained from beginning to end. But that match is one of the just most unreal things that you'll see. And like Steve said, thank God that there weren't that many kids, because it definitely is not a kid show. It started at noon, which, wow, you know, you think, thank God there was only a handful, you know, 4 maybe kids there. Yeah. Today at the women's show, there was a nice crowd of kids. So it was perfect. Kids today could enjoy it, but last night was just for the fucking adults. And, you know, and for those people who came, who were GCW people who had never been to FSW Arena, I thought one of the funniest things in listening to people talking as they were kind of going through the door and stuff was the question of, do they serve alcohol here?
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the big things. But, you know, overall, and there were other shows that ran this weekend too. You know, Grab House did their show on Thursday, and they will be doing another show at the end of October that will be keeping people posted on, giving a little bit more about. There was stuff that went on at Super Beast Academy. There was stuff that went on at Versus. Alberto Del Rio ran that Lucha show. There was a lot of fucking shit going on, and DJ kept everyone informed on our social media on what was going on. So, you know, again, when stuff happens in Las Vegas and you need to, you know, if you're coming in from out of town, go to our social media and you'll be able to see what's going on, so you can kind of hopefully be able to make plans.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I could tell you, from a person who been to so many manias every year, the one thing you're always trying to do is trying to find a site that gives you all the information of what's happening in pro wrestling in town. And you're trying to search the webs, and sometimes you find something and sometimes you don't. But we're going to try to make it easy. When you hear events coming to Vegas, don't feel you got to go search. Just keep it locked right here, and we will keep you posted everything going down with wrestling here in town. So thank you guys for that. We are nothing for our wrestling talk in terms of WWE. If you're watching us, we're going to be right back in just a second. Yes, we got to talk about Mr. CM Punk. We're going to get into it and everything AEW, Impact, and ROH and more. So, but in terms of the podcast, that episode will be on Tuesday. All right. So with that, we will see you guys later who are watching us, and for listening to the podcast, we'll see you on Tuesday. Until then,